everybody, it's Sierra, the Artsy Badger, and today we're drawing a snake. But not just any snake, we are going to be drawing a San Francisco garter snake. For those of you who are unfamiliar with snakes, a garter snake is a very common kind of snake here in North America. In fact, I think it's endemic to North America. They are a species of snake that have adapted to live in many different habitats. That's as far as the actual garter snake goes. But the San Francisco garter snake is a subspecies that is endemic to San Mateo County and parts of northern Santa Cruz County. The San Francisco garter snake prefers a habitat of wetlands where there is either a freshwater pond or stream with lots of shrubs and small plants for them to hide in. And of course, abundant prey to feed on. But I would say that garter snakes as a whole are known to be a very sturdy species. They were often the type of snake that I would catch as a child in my backyard, and I lived in a pretty hot place growing up, but they did just fine there. But I have heard that the western portion of garter snakes are a lot more aquatic, which would explain why the past few times I've gone to alpine lakes, such as in Tahoe and other parts of the Sierras, I have had a few encounters with snakes in the water. Now, don't be afraid. Garter snakes are under the family Colubridae, commonly called colubrids, which as a classification are considered not venomous, or at least very harmless to humans. So a lot of these snakes, including the San Francisco garter snake, have venomous saliva, but it wouldn't really affect a human if a human was bitten. It's enough to kill their smaller prey, but for us, it might cause some irritation, similar to like a bee sting. Maybe that's a bad example because a lot of people die from bee stings if they're allergic, but I guess that's my point, is that unless you are allergic to them, then they shouldn't cause you too many problems, if that makes sense. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Colubrids are classified in this group for a few different classifications. One, they're considered mostly harmless to humans, and two, they don't have fangs like a lot of people think that snakes have fangs. Like I said before, they don't have venomous fangs, they have venomous saliva. So they do have teeth, sometimes referred to as rear fangs, but really it's just some teeth located at the back of their jaw. As far as snake evolution goes, this is considered a precursor to the fangs that we know and love and identify with those venomous snakes. I was surprised to find out that this Colubridae family isn't actually a natural group. It's kind of considered the wastebasket family of the taxonomy of snakes, where they just kind of throw a bunch of rear-fanged snakes in there. A lot of snakes that are in the pet trade are considered colubrids, such as corn snakes and king snakes. But anyway, let's get back to the San Francisco garter snake, which is the one that we are focusing on today. This snake has been considered to be endangered since 1967. Most of the population decline is due to land development and urban living, which is to be expected since they are endemic to such an urban part of California. It's estimated that only 1,000 to 2,000 adults of this subspecies are remaining, but they say that they aren't really able to get accurate numbers because there are so many unexplored natural areas that could support this snake that they aren't super confident in their numbers, but they know that it's pretty low. But in the parts of the natural environment that are left untouched by urban development, they actually thrive and are pretty easy to see, which I thought was pretty cool, because that means that you could go to a wilderness area in their range, and if you know the habitat that they like to live in, there's a good chance of you seeing one, which I think would be really cool considering how beautifully colored they are. They have a blue-green stripe that runs all the way down their spine, bordered by stripes of black and red and sometimes orange, and then rounded off with a cute blue-green belly. They really are quite beautiful. which leads to the second reason why they are on the endangered list, which is that people who like reptiles and breeders tend to collect them. It's illegal for you to do that, just so you know, but who could resist such a beautiful snake that's harmless to humans, so it's easy to catch? And I can imagine this being a very desired pet. Colubrids make great pet snakes, and to have one that's this beautifully colored, most garter snakes are just sort of a brown and maybe slightly yellowish colored, maybe slightly greenish colored, but they're not all that exciting. So to find one that's this like beautiful orangish red with blue like that, I totally get it. I understand why people would want this as a pet, but it's unfortunate that people think that they have the right to take these animals from the wild. As far as I'm aware, they are allowed to be captive bred. So if you are a snake lover and desire this beautiful colubrid, then you should look to the pet trade, but the right kind, the breeding kind, not the I take this from the wild kind. Now that we've talked a bit about the species, let's talk a little bit about the drawing. So this one, I don't know if it's my least favorite of the endangered species that I've done, but I'm a little disappointed with it, I guess. I think the coloring of it was just not that successful. I really liked the sketch. I like the way that the snake is all wrapped around itself and breaks out of the frame a little bit. I try to do that with everyone, have a little bit of either the animal or the plants, or maybe a little bit of both, breaking out of the frame, because I like the way that looks. But I had a really hard time getting the black dark enough without losing the texture and form. Texture's a whole nother thing too. The blue stripe on the back, I wasn't totally sure how to make it look like it was actually scaly, but I did my best. Another thing that was a struggle was the fact that the back stripe and the belly stripe are pretty much the same color, and that made it really difficult to make the body look right in the background where it's kind of wrapping around itself and folding on itself. It just looks kind of like a bundled mess of colors. And then also, I have been giving everything a blue sky background, but this one, the blue sky just kind of blends in with the stripe, and I'm kind of sad about that, but that's okay. It's fine. I know this is kind of backtracking, but the sketching process was also kind of difficult because the head of the snake looked so weird. I still think it looks a little weird, but I think I finally got it to a place that I'm okay with it. But I realized after doing the research that this is because these snakes are known for having a head that is barely wider than their neck, and that's why it looked so weird. Anyway, that's enough of me ranting about my struggles with this piece. I still really enjoy this series a lot. I hope you guys do too. Let me know if you have any suggestions for what endangered species I should do next. That's all I have for you today. Merry Christmas, everyone who celebrates Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone else. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.